Yes, guys, welcome back to the Spurs Related YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to preview the game that we have in 25 and a half hours time away at Leeds. Obviously, we drew in the week away in Bodo Glimt, and last week we got a disappointing result at home to Wolves. So it's important that they hopefully get a win, go into the break in a good way, which they are historically very bad at doing. And I don't think they've won a game before the international break since 2023. So I'm not overly confident, but we can hope. Before we begin, if you haven't already, then please like and subscribe down below. It is much appreciated. And obviously it's free to do and helps us massively. And then in addition to that, make sure you smash that notification bell. It is free to do so. You'll never miss an upload from James or myself, or when we're together and live. So let's get into this. So we're going to go over the team and then head to head, and then my prediction of what I think will happen tomorrow lunchtime, I should say. So this is the beginning of the team. I think Vicario will start in goal. He's obviously been a little bit poorer of late. He's not been at his best, made a couple of mistakes. Was arguably at fault for the second Bodo Glimt goal, arguably at fault for the Wolves goal. And then also one of, if not both of the Brighton goals, or certainly one of them as well. So I think for now, though, I think he's still the number one, but I think that gap is narrowing. And I think we're probably getting closer to seeing Kinski a little bit more. But for now, Vicario, I think, will start in goal. I think Porro will join him at right back. He played in the week and poorly, may I add. I thought he was really poor, but I think he will start. I think Spence will be the one we left out, which we'll obviously come to in a second with Udogie, but I think Spence will be left out. I think Porro we kind of need at times, especially if when I talk about the midfield in a minute and breaking teams down, I think Porro is probably going to be beneficial in that. Got a nice assist in the week, to be fair to him. And so yeah, I think he'll play. I think the next two I'll kind of skip through pretty quickly because they're quite self-explanatory. They're going to start, I would suspect, as long as Romero is only a precaution and he is fit enough after not being in Bodo in the week. If he's fine, fit, it'll be him. If not, then Danso. But I imagine he'll be fit, firing, ready, and the pair of them will start tomorrow. Obviously, Mickey van der Ven got his first ever Champions League goal on Saturday. Sorry, I can't speak, on Tuesday. And had a pretty decent performance. He was all right. He was okay. He wasn't at his full best, but he was all right in the week. But I think we missed Christian Romero. So big to have him back if he is back tomorrow. That'll be really important. Left back, as I said, I think Spence will miss out. Udogie had a pretty nice cameo when he came on against Bodo Glimt. I think he's had nice cameos every time he's played so far this season. I'm not Jed Spence's biggest fan, I have to be honest, but I'm a big fan of Udogie. I think he's fantastic. And I think once he's fully fit and really better firing, I think you've got one of the best left backs in not only the country, but probably all of Europe, in what is quite a dry market for left backs anyway. I think he probably stands near the top of that. So yeah, I'm quite excited to have him back fit and hopefully he stays injury free and yeah, first of all starts tomorrow, but then stays injury free for a long period of time, and we can see a lot more of him because I think he's a really good player. Into the middle, I think João Paulinho will start. He didn't obviously start against Bodo Glimt, which I think was a bit bizarre, and I think they're the sort of games you should be starting him in. But I don't mind this tomorrow. It's going to be quite a physical, tough battle, and I think he probably suits that more than anyone else, bar probably Christian Romero in that team. So I'm quite pleased that he was left out and will be fit enough and ready for hopefully tomorrow lunchtime. Obviously, scored that goal that got us the point at Wolves last week. It was a big goal. It was a great goal as well at that. But yeah, really important that he starts and he's on it because, as I say, it's going to be a difficult sort of game for Tottenham tomorrow. Next to him, I think Bentancur will start. Signed a new contract in the last hour. It's been announced, a long-term deal, which I'm very pleased about. I know quite a few are unhappy. I'm very pleased that I think he's a top player, and I know Thomas Frank loves him. So if he wants him and he loves him, then I'm certainly on board with that. And I think he's a top player. I think he uses class. I think he's when he's fit and firing and really at his peak, which I think he's getting to, and we're nearly there now. I think he's a Rolls Royce of a player actually. So I think we probably don't realise how lucky we are that he's signed a new deal, and I don't think a lot of people probably will until he sort of hits that peak fitness again, which yeah, it might take another couple of months, but we're getting there now, and now that he's playing consistent game time, consistent games, I think we're going to get there pretty quickly. Making up the midfield, I think Bova will start. He came off relatively early the other day against Bodo Glimt, and I thought Sarr looked well out of it, to be honest. I don't think he had a great game at all. I think Bergvall, I think Gray, I'd like to see play, but I just don't think he will. I don't think he'll chuck him in now. Certainly against his old side, and I mean it's a ground that he knows well, I guess. But I don't think he'll. I don't think he'll chuck him in now. I don't know if he trusts him enough to start him now. But Bergvall, I think this is the midfield he probably at the moment trusts the most, and I think this is the midfield he'll go with because I think they're all tough tacklers. They all work hard enough. I think they suit this sort of game away at a tough side, tough sort of real English dogged side, and so I think that's what he'll go with. I think Xavi Simons will start on the left again. He didn't start in the week. He came on, and I thought he was all right. Actually, I thought he played all right. I know people probably weren't as convinced. I thought he played all right. I thought he made an impact. Along with this guy as well. I thought the pair of them when they came on, him and Kudus made an impact, and they were the reason we probably got back into that game. Just because they have a directness about them. They want to run at you. They want to hurt you. They want to, they want to try things. And so, yeah, I have to say that I think those two will both start. I mean, I think that's pretty self-explanatory, given they neither of them started the other day. I think they will both start. And then making up the final position up top is probably the most surprising one of the lot, or maybe not. I think Tell will start. I don't want to rant about him now, but I said it on the live the other day. If you haven't already, then go and watch that. That's obviously still there, the Bodo Glimt review. I said I think that Richarlison is probably one of Spurs' worst players, if not their worst player currently. I thought he was appalling the other night. I thought he was absolutely dreadful. He had 10 touches. He obviously missed a sitter in that first half as well that should have put us 1-0 up. I thought his general game was appalling. I thought his work rate, his effort was appalling. So yeah, I don't want to see him starting tomorrow. I think on the flip side as well, Matisse Tell has had a week free of travelling and any of that. And obviously didn't go to Bodo, I don't think so. So he's not in the squad, but I don't know if he actually travelled with them. I suspect not. So yeah, I just think it makes more sense to start him. I think Richarlison obviously also played 90 minutes the other day on a fake pitch in Bodo. So I think it probably makes more sense to leave him out anyway. But on top of the fact that he was just absolutely diabolical. So yeah, that's the team I think will start tomorrow. I think the team should have enough quality to beat Leeds. If they match Leeds' running and energy and all that, I think we'll beat Leeds. But this is sort of the last couple of years of results. I say the last 4 years of results, but obviously haven't played them in 2. We beat them 4-1 on the last day of the season in 2023. Ryan Mason was in charge. Moura scored with his last ever kick for Spurs. Kane, I think, hit 31, 32 league goals in that game as well that season. And the 4-3, remember, was the last game before the World Cup. Bentancur scored twice, and he was unbelievably good. 4-0, I want to say, was the one where Kane and Son broke the record. Fantastic game. The 2-1 at home, I think, was Conte's first win, I want to say, and Reguilon scored. I remember the 3-1 away was a Mason defeat. I think Sonny scored. They played in that green kit, him and Delhi. And the 3-0 at home, I remember quite well. I think was still, I think, in the restrictions, so not many people were there. But I remember Kane and Son playing well together. But yeah, they are the last results. We have a pretty good record against them since they've been back in the Premier League. I would like to think we beat them. My hunch is that we're going to struggle. I think we're going to struggle because I think they've started well. I mean, I didn't watch the game, but I watched the highlights, watched Match of the Day of them playing Bournemouth the other day. And if Dominic Calvert-Lewin took his chances, they could have probably scored 5. We didn't lay a glove on Bournemouth, and that concerns me. So yeah, I think we will struggle. I think we will nick the win though. So I'm going to go 2-1 Tottenham, and I will be very, very happy with that result if they go into the international break 2-1 winners against Leeds. Probably keep us in the top 3 or 4. I think we're 4th now, so it'll keep us in the top 3 or 4. And I'll be very, very pleased with that result. And hopefully then they can progress after the break again. They got Villa at home, which is a very winnable game. They're starting to hit a little bit of form, but very winnable game. And then they've got some games that obviously become a little bit trickier, and they're away at Everton, home to Chelsea and Man United. So some games that are a little bit tougher. So it's important they get a win tomorrow. Free up almost the pressure a little bit of those other games that will become quite difficult, because then you'll still be in a good position regardless of those results, if you get what I mean. So that's all right. But yeah, as I say, if you have enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an upload. As me and James are really pushing the content this year. Yeah, and let's hope we get the win. As always, come on, you Spurs.